Hey guys, S-Man here, and today is my review to the Darkari and Cresselia arcs. So first off, this is going to be reviewing both episodes in one video, and also in my normal reviews, I have just visuals. I have visuals up, not really anything more. I have like the S-Man reviews, Master Journeys on the side logo, and I just put just pictures of the episode on screen. I'm only gonna leave the same picture on screen of Ash, Dawn, and Chloe and Go all playing in the water because for two reasons. More, it's just gonna be this is more of a me this because I want my reviews to be feel like more of a discussion. So I'm gonna start taking the a frame or I feel is a good frame like that will help like sum up. But since it's two episodes, I decided to just take the best looking frame. So yeah, if you guys want me to start like putting other frames, like for example, how I used to do, let me know. But for now, I'm just putting the what I feel is the most important frame of each episode, unless I have to like, because there are parts where it will be better if I show off what I'm talking about. So probably you guys will see it when I edit. All right. So next thing on the agenda, why is this a few days later than the episode airing? I have not felt like recording it. There and simple. But I feel like recording it now. I've been working a lot on part 4 of my What If, and there should be a collab with that part as well. So yeah, look forward to that being released roughly soon. So moving on to the Darkari and Cresselia episode slash Dawn arc. I'm just gonna be just explaining the whole plot. So basically, Dawn, or I'll separate the three major plots. Team Rocket are basically it's the arc starts with like Team Rocket attacking Cresselia, and it falls in the forest. Then we see Darkrai leave the island, and that's the end of that plot for the first episode. Besides one little brief thing I'll mention later. Then we get the beginning of our second plot. Ash and Go going to the study why people have been gaining nightmares in the Sinnoh region. They leave the lab. Chloe arrives at it. At the end of Ash and Go's plot. I'm joking, guys. They both get brought up later. But the main point of this arc is basically it's a Chloe arc. It's Chloe development for her Eevee and herself. More herself than Eevee. And I personally enjoy this as they develop Chloe in a way where she was supposed to go on a family vacation with her family to Sinnoh, but none of them could go on it. They were all busy or they just don't want to. The professor has to take care of an egg. I'll come back to that later because I want to rant about that egg. And it's not anything bad. It's just more, if you could tell by my mascot, you can tell where this rant is going. And if you've seen any of my Twitter posts, you'll know where it's going. But yeah, Chloe goes on a journey of her own in the Sinnoh. And yeah, so that's basically the arc. Chloe goes on a journey in the Sinnoh and runs into Dawn, where that's basically the plot. Her and Dawn become friends, and then like at one point they argue because Dawn's more of an Ash type and Chloe's more of a Go type, and Ash and Go argued at first. So yeah. Well, all right. Next thing on the agenda, let's go back to the Ash and Go plot, which is basically pointless. That's one of my negatives with the arcs, with the arc in general. It's just Ash and Go hardly do anything, and they're supposed to be equal members of the plot. Same thing with Team Rocket. Team Rocket, especially the trio, have no purpose of being in this arc. I would have been fine if it was just Matori Matrix and we get reference to Jesse James and Meow, and they don't want to bring them in because they're a threat, or maybe In my honest opinion, yeah, we've been complaining. Dawn's return was perfect, but in my opinion, we needed one extra episode. The second episode should have been like 50-50 split between Ash, Go, and Dawn and Chloe, and then Ash and Dawn, and then it ends off with when that scene where Ash and Go come out of the bushes. And what would I fill up the extra scenes with? Possibly like Ash and Go doing stuff. But if I were to write the series, this arc would have definitely been earlier. Because in my opinion, I personally just don't like how it is that Chloe's traveling. I would have put this earlier, the setup that because I feel that this would have been this is like the perfect time, like after this arc to make Chloe start traveling. But there's been episodes where she's traveled before. The Ponytail episode, the Dracovish and Arctozol episode. She was in that Unova episode for some reason. The only episodes that I would exclude, like, oh, this should have been before, were the Feebas episode and the. Actually, no mind. She didn't travel out of region in the Aerodactyl. So yeah, but yeah, this should have been before the Ponyta episode, before the Dracovish episode, and it wouldn't even be like break. Oh, it's content. You're breaking the continuity, because I could be wrong, but I don't think anything. I could be 100% wrong, but I literally think at most this episode would have to be after Grookey. But you can easily just replace Grookey with Sabo because Grookey didn't do anything this arc, or just remove Grookey entirely. So they easily could have put this before the Dracovish episode. That's my biggest complaint with this arc. Is like, oh, it feels like this could have been placed anywhere else because we don't see any of Ash's Pokemon. We don't see Team Rocket's Morpeko. They just use the Gotcha. So like, yeah, this could be easily before they catch Morpeko. Meowth doesn't even recall. Meowth literally runs up to the area, and you can argue, oh, maybe he didn't see her. But Chloe and Dawn both screamed Team Rocket, and Meowth didn't notice Chloe and fell instantly in love. I love these episodes, by the way. Spoiler already, I'm giving them both a 10 out of 10. I love both these episodes. But I just want to talk about the negatives I have and the positives. I wasn't originally going to make this like a traditional review. I was going to be more of it was going to be more of I list my negatives, my positives, and I give a score, which I might make the rest of the reviews from now on. But yeah, moving on. The only literally, I already said this could have been like the episode after she catches Eevee too, because I kid you not, the only thing that would make it like take place of where the episodes are set is Grookey. And Grookey didn't do anything. He basically was just there to be there. Because Go has his carry around Pokemon. Yeah, but this would, in my opinion, this should have been right after Chloe caught Eevee. And then and then this arc would be the reason why Chloe starts traveling with Ash and Go more often. So yeah, another complaint I have would be I was already getting onto it before I got into my other rant. Ash, Go, and Team Rocket do nothing. I feel that the second episode, but this is why I got into my rant. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I rarely script my reviews just so I can get like genuine like thoughts out, which is why I stutter a lot in videos because I like to get my general thoughts out. In my opinion, if this took place earlier, we probably could have had a world coronation battle in it. And I know, why would we have a world coronation battle? It wouldn't make sense. You can, in my opinion, you could have, because we see Lunatone, and I remember there being a screenshot of all Ash's off-screen world coronation battle. So, like, let's just say how the dream sequence where Ash and Go have the Team Rocket dream, where Cerise Labs takes place this episode. They see the Darkari, then it runs off. So they're searching all night until like the next day. And the second episode would be about them first, but have like cut the Chloe and Dawn doing stuff. Like for example, the scene where we're helping Cresselia and performing the contest for Cresselia, and Dawn and Chloe are practicing contest. It would cut to that. Besides that, the whole episode would be about Ash and Go, and during it, maybe Ash has a battle with Farfetch because this episode would because the way where I would have put the episode would be like right before Farfetch's training arc and right before Dracovish's capture, so probably and instead of just Team Rocket showing up using the gotcha, they would or Jesse James wouldn't be in the arc at all, and Ash would use Farfetch to battle a Lunatone the one that we saw in like the World Coronations, like off screen. Ash had gotten these many battles done, and that's where that battle would have gone. Because I hate that World Coronation is mostly off screen. It's the dumbest thing ever. All right, now continuing on. Another complaint I have: the battle with Team Rocket was completely useless. Team Rocket didn't have. I compliment that it was beautifully animated, but it served no purpose besides setting up a reason why Darkrai and Cresselia are there, and because it's not like every character threw one move at Team Rocket, and it was the exact move they showed off in the trailer. Darkrai basically takes out all of Team Rocket on its own. I felt literally that Ash, Go, Dawn. If this had another episode, Ash, Go, and Dawn and Chloe, Ash, Go, Dawn, and Chloe could have done more. Maybe use some of their other Pokemon like Dawn. Everyone wanted Dawn to do. Maybe have her have a Typhlosion. We see Go Cinderace and maybe his Scizor, and we see Lucario. And like I said, I would put this during Farfetch, but in a perfect world where this took place at the same time, him use Surfetched or Gengar, because Gengar would be super effective against Darkrai, so it would make sense for Ash to have it. Okay. Besides all of those things where this could have taken place at a different part and the lack of Ash, Go, and Team Rocket in the arc, here are my positives. Continuity with Dawn, fantastic. She mentions Brock multiple times. We see her mother. We get a little flashback to Piplup refusing to evolve. Fantastic. That is, I'm going to compliment this continuity. It felt like it's another Journey situation where their characters are coming back, and the best moments are them referring to the other ones, like the Gary up. In my opinion, Dawn has been the best return because she assists in the plot in Chloe's development, and she's actually doing something. Gary would be second best. Iris would be third. Then Karina. Alola Gang hasn't affected anything, and we're going back to Alola next week or after the break, which I'm hyped for, partially because they said Ash will be champion. But yeah, I also feel this episode these callbacks were good because it wasn't like, we're just throwing characters just to throw characters, because they could have easily just put May, Zoe. No, the only character they referenced is Brock, and every time they reference Brock twice. The first time being, I was taught how to treat Pokemon by a guy I traveled with, and then we see flashback of Brock treating Togekiss. That serves plot relevancy because at that moment they were trying to help Cresselia and heal its wounds. And then the second time was when Ash and Dawn were explaining that they used to travel with each other to Go and Chloe. And then they mentioned, we also traveled with this guy named Brock. But most other continuities, in my opinion, don't really work. Or flashbacks. Like, stuff like, Iris mentioning, we used to travel together, and us seeing the group. That's fine. And actually, Iris's works, but Gary's just, in my opinion, Gary didn't need to show off Paul and Ferdinand. He could have just said, I watched the Sinnoh League, and I saw it. But we didn't need to have a flashback of Paul and Infernape. Or I mean Paul and Electivire. That is just a use that he and I don't even remember. I could remember this wrong, but he didn't directly state. Also, with the Iris thing, going back, you can have Clement in the flashback. I'm not Clement, sorry, Silent in the flashback, but they never mentioned his name. They say, "Oh, we traveled together," and we just see Clement. I'm not Clement. I'm sorry, their names are similar, and they also had that episode. Silent in the flashback, and they don't even bring him up. So, like, if people were new, they're like, "Oh, who's that guy?" But if this Journeys was their first series, and they mentioned, "Oh, Brock, we traveled with him," see, they didn't mention Silent at all. Okay, moving on. Callbacks were fine, and especially with Dawn's mother. And I love the callback and parallels with Chloe's hair, Dawn's hair, and then Chloe overpacking, same as Dawn. The next best thing is just Dawn's return in general. Dawn, this easily couldn't have been Dawn needed to return, but she did, and I feel it helped to the plot, not to the Darkrai and Cresselia plot, but Chloe as a character, her plot. In my honest opinion, Dawn and Chloe in their interactions basically steal the show for me. They make this arc the Dawn arc instead of Darkrai Cresselia arc like it normally is. So yeah. I also really like the animations in some sequences. Some of these sequences have incredible animations, like the ending scene, the battles. Yeah, these are overall good episodes. It's just they have some flaws that just relate to. Oh my god, it's just they have flaws that they can like relate back to. Oh my god, like continuity. They do well with Dawn's continuity and like Diamond and Pearl continuity, but not with Journeys. Might I add? Like no Ashmons at all. No, like this could have taken place any time after Grookey's capture. And all right, yeah. So, but give both of these episodes, in my opinion, the first one gets a 9 out of 10. The second one gets a 10 out of 10. But overall, this arc is a 10 out of 10. Really, I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed every moment of it. And ending off, we get hints of Dawn possibly returning by saying the summer's not over. But also, guys, if them damn Piplups don't return or get captured by someone in the main cast, I swear, I'm gonna riot. I'm gonna be pissed off. And it's not, oh, Ash needs to catch a Piplup. No, I want everyone in the main cast to have a Piplup. There were I counted, there were at least 7 Piplups. And guess how many people work at the Cerise Institute? Let's see, 6. Each of them could have one Piplup, and they could just give the other one out to, I don't know, maybe Rinto with an Empoleon. But, alright. Ending off, both episodes were at 9 out of 10. I've just been rambling on. If Ash doesn't... I'm not Ash. I'm sorry. If the whole cast, especially Ash, don't catch one of those Piplups, I'm ranting for the rest of my life. Because what's the point of the stupid egg if you were going to have Piplups hatch? 7, might I add. And then no one catches one of the 7 Piplups. I'm going to be so sad because Piplup is my favorite Pokemon. Alright. I hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe for more content like this in the future. Goodbye.